Okay, we have a new setup here and also a new season of Star Trek Discovery. We'll have the episode of the Orville tomorrow night, so stay with us. Hello out there, I'm the Oldest Nerd, and very excited to be able to finally see the first episode of Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. They promised a change in the tone of the show, and you could tell it from the very beginning. From a new opening, which features the captain's chair in place of the communicator, I believe, in the original opening credits, to a little different look at Burnham's experience, talking more about family this season they talked about, and in the very opening part we talk about Burnham's relationship with her foster brother Spock, and a suggestion in the show that there is some situation that even Sarek didn't know about, that Burnham and Spock did not get along, and Burnham claims that it was her fault. So we will find out, no doubt, later in the season as to exactly what the nature of that is. A minor touch, a little soap opera thing, but we will forgive it for now because of all of the action that we had in this first episode. We bring Pike on board. We have one of the transporter officers see the Easter egg where they have one of the characters with a Geordi type visor. We have some indication of what happened to the Enterprise. They've had massive systems failures, and it has caused them to have to stop in the middle of a mission. And that's the reason that Pike beams aboard with three of his officers. A science officer who almost misleads us, and then also a couple of other members of the crew. And as they're walking through, one of them makes a remark on how elaborate Discovery is, and Pike gently chides him, saying, well, we got new uniforms. So they address the difference in the uniforms from Enterprise and Discovery right off the bat. They show for the first time an outside view of a turbo lift going between floors. That was kind of interesting to see. We have, from the very beginning, when Lorca takes command, first a joke at Tilly's expense, and then to inform the bridge crew, wants to get to know them. It's the first time, in fact, we've heard most of their names, and I'm afraid I haven't caught them yet, but I imagine we will before long. He says, I'm not him, I'm not Lorca. And I think that is something that we are going to find in this first episode, especially to show the difference between Pike and Lorca. He's more of an adventurer. He's more of a collaborator. He's more of someone who is very dedicated to his crew, whereas Lorca was dead set on just getting this war fought on the surface, and of course underneath, getting back to his own universe. I was expecting him to say engage, because in the pilot, The Cage, and later done in The Menagerie, Pike said engage in the same way Picard did. But in this case, when they accelerate to warp, he just says hit it. So I don't know if that makes any difference or not, but that did kind of get my attention. We're catching up with some of the other characters. Of course, Tilly, who is now an officer, trainer, course person, an ensign, and not far from real ensigns in the military. They think they know everything and start pushing people around, and Tilly does a certain amount of that as well. Even to some of the superior officers, she's got an agenda and she's pushing it forward. We'll see a lot more of this. She was very interested in the composition of the asteroids, and that's liable to play into more of the upcoming part of the series of the season, no doubt. We know, for instance, that Stamets has been offered a teaching position at the Vulcan Science Academy. He sees the ghost of Hugh everywhere, and therefore wants off the ship. Tilly tries to talk him out of it, and he has a memorable line, "Repeat after me, I will say fewer things." I think that might be a good recommendation for Tilly, generally speaking, who tends to talk too much, and they have addressed that in previous episodes. So Pike takes command, and they head toward one of these red anomalies that Enterprise was pursuing before it had its systems failure. And when they get there, they're just in an asteroid field. And another memorable line, "Where's my damn red thing?" Kind of like that. But they do discover the USS Hiawatha, a Federation ship that has crashed on one of the asteroids, and they have to go and investigate it. And on it, they find an engineer, Commander Jet Reno, played by Tig Notaro, who is an accomplished comedian and plays the engineer part very well. I thought that she's very skilled in improvising some things, keeping crew alive. So it shows that she, like everybody in Starfleet, is kind of the Three Musketeers mentality. It's all for one and one for all. And they were able to save several people on the Hiawatha. So I'm not certain if she's going to be a continuing character. I kind of suspect that she will be. They've not established Stamets as a chief engineer. He was just kind of the lead scientist, really, in engineering. So they're likely to bring in Commander Reno as the chief engineer on Discovery. So I'm expecting that to come in. We see the Red Angel. We've been hearing about this in some of the publicity materials, that it was a story told to both Spock and Michael during their childhood, and something that's come to life, that's come to real. And in fact, Burnham sees one of the Red Angels before she's rescued by Pike at the point where, she thinks she's going to be blown up with the asteroid. After they get back from their mission, Pike is decided to stay with Discovery because Enterprise is more damaged than originally thought, and so he is changed into the Discovery type uniform. And Burnham wants to go over to Enterprise and see Spock. She's told that Spock had taken leave, and he really didn't ask him why. So Burnham wants to go anyway, does, and finds out that Spock has been chasing these red anomalies as well, and believes they are part of this Red Angel phenomenon. So this is going to be the overarching plot of this season. Noticed in Spock's quarters the ring-shaped dividers, which were seen in the original series Enterprise. We also see a Vulcan bell frame. I don't know what they called it. We saw that first in Amok Time. And also you may notice that the Enterprise had the swooshing door sound that we do not see on Discovery. So a couple of things there. Also, the science officer that came over with Pike that was killed was wearing a blue shirt. So they may have broken a precedent here. So those are the things that I noticed after my first viewing of this. The one thing that really bothered me, and it had nothing to do with the show itself, but with CBS All Access. It seemed like about every 15 seconds, the picture would freeze, and it would act as if we'd lost internet connection to it and then start back. And it went all through the show. It was kind of annoying, and I suspect it was because there were so many people watching, it was causing CBS's servers to stall, and I think they should have anticipated that and had the bandwidth ready for it, because there was really nothing wrong with our internet here. It was a matter of, I believe, CBS All Access not having enough bandwidth to keep it going. I'll be interested to know if anybody watched it and had the same kind of problems I did. Very annoying, kind of took you out of the moment. So that's that. All in all, I was on the edge of my seat through much of the episode. I found some nice funny moments in there with Pike is a light-hearted type of fellow, very much the anti-Lorca, and Burnham is not quite so morose. There was a great line that at the time that they're all flying their pod things into the asteroid, you see Saru's ganglia stand up. And one of the officers looks over at Saru and he looks back and says, "Are you really surprised?" I love that line. All in all, I think it was a good episode. I think it was a good way to start off season 2. I think they've learned some things since season 1 about what the fans want. And I know I was thoroughly entertained. I'd like to know what you think about it. Please let me know in the comments. And so we will have in another day or so a review on the Orville, which is also, I understand, going to be a good show. This is one that they have been featuring in a lot of the trailers for the season. So we're looking forward to seeing that almost immediately, and we'll have that video out tomorrow if you're watching this on the same day. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me know what you think about all this. I'm excited about this, and I'm excited about Star Trek Discovery. I'm excited about the Orville, especially last week's. I'm hoping this week's was as good. And until next time, don't go far.